Hey guys, my name is Matsumoyo, and today I'm excited to say that we've finally gotten our very first look at the new map that's coming to Rainbow Six Siege, which is apparently a gigantic skyscraper. Now visually, this looks incredible. I gotta give a big tip of my hat to Ubisoft because it looks like they went above and beyond with the visuals. Not only just the interior looks amazing with a lot of variety in kind of modern setting, but also more traditional rooms. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of variety there, but also the outside of the building. When it's nighttime and you see all the lights out in the distance, like it just looks fantastic. And so I cannot wait just to play on this map for the visuals itself. Now, the first thing I initially thought of when I saw this trailer was how was the attacking team gonna be able to get into the building? You guys know that the formula that Ubisoft has been using for map design since the very beginning is that the attacking team starts on the outside, they have to run towards the building, and then they breach on in. You can't really run up to a gigantic skyscraper, like that just isn't gonna work. And so the first idea I had was maybe the offensive team is gonna start in one of these large lobbies. We see a couple of examples of this during the trailer. Maybe they start in one of these lobby sections and then they push towards the objective. Apparently, that's not actually the case. The way that we're gonna get into this building is that we have to rappel on the outside of the building with nothing below us and then swoop on in. Now that sounds amazing. I've always fantasized about having a true skyscraper map in Rainbow Six Siege, and it finally looks like we're gonna get one. But one of the worries I've always had about that idea is that that sounds like a nightmare for the offensive team. Everyone knows that if you try to rappel in through a window, you're at a massive disadvantage if the enemy knows that you're there. You're pretty much a sitting duck. You have no cover, you have to go through an animation that you can't stop, and so if the enemy realizes that you're trying to pull off one of those maneuvers, it's gonna be pretty difficult for you to come out of that alive. And so while this all sounds awesome in theory, it also sounds like it could be a camper's paradise. Now, Ubisoft tries to alleviate these fears in the article and say that these sections of the map where we enter on in, there's gonna be a lot of long-range engagements. And so even though you might be at a disadvantage a little bit, because offense has all the long-range weapons, they have access to the ACOG scopes, if the defensive team wants to peek these sections, it seems like they might be at a disadvantage. I'm not entirely sold on that, but we're just gonna kind of have to wait and see and trust that Ubisoft has thought about these problems and it won't be a large issue. Another thing I noticed during this trailer is that it looks like there's gonna be a lot of verticality. They even mention in the article that this is going to be a very large map, and I can believe it. From this little subsection here, there looks to be multiple floors. Now, this could just be a visual thing. It could be sections of the map that we can't actually enter in because, of course, this is a gigantic skyscraper. But if this is actual playable area, right here, it looks like there's a ground level, 2, 3, maybe even 4 stories. There even appears to be a maintenance scaffolding section, which probably has access to a couple hatches so we can hit the objective from above as well. This map looks like it could go all out on the verticality. And so just in general, I cannot wait to get my hands on this map. It looks like there's going to be a lot of variety in the gameplay because of that verticality. I'm really hoping that they can nail that breaching on in from the outside, because if they can, this is going to be one of the coolest, or really one of the more interesting maps that we've ever gotten in Rainbow Six Siege. The next thing I wanted to talk about are the new operators that are going to be coming with this season. Now, we haven't gotten an official reveal. Ubisoft hasn't announced anything officially just yet. These are leaks, and so take them with a grain of salt. But they have some potential here. And so the first operator that we might be getting this season is one that has access to a stun nade launcher. So kind of think Ash, but instead of having a grenade that is going to destroy a wall or take out barbed wire, for example, it's going to stun the enemy. Now, on paper, this doesn't sound all that impressive. We already have flashbangs, we already have Ying. Why would we want a launcher that can stun someone? I kind of thought the same thing about Ela though, and Ela turned out to be one of the best, and honestly, she is one of the best operators that you can have on defense. And so if I had to take a guess, and this is what people are theorizing, is that this is actually Ela's sister. And so if we continue down that train of thought, it might be just a mix between Ash and Ela, where you send out essentially an Ela charge. If anyone's nearby, it's going to stun them. It's going to slow down their movement so they can't look around very quickly. And then you can charge on in and take them down. And so I'm really curious to see how this new operator, if true, is going to interact with the other ones, especially Ying. I mean, the reason why people aren't playing Ying right now is because her gadget is fairly inconsistent and her weapon really isn't all that great. She may see a lot of pro scene play because she has access to smokes and she can just flash everyone and get a plant off, but most people in casual or even in ranked don't play her very often. Like, she just doesn't see a lot of action. And so if this new operator kind of does the same thing, but has a more reliable gadget because you can pinpoint exactly where you want the stun to go off, and they also have a slightly better weapon, Ying might just get completely sidelined because of it for this new operator who does pretty much the same thing. Ying might have more AoE, but that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things as long as you're able to get that stun off. I'm really curious to see how all that's gonna play out. The next supposed operator that's gonna be coming with this new DLC is going to have the ability to activate stealth on drones. Now, if that's all they bring to the offensive team, that doesn't sound all that impressive, at least at first glance. I mean, you've got all these awesome operators on offense. All you do is have a stealth drone, like that's it? That's all you're gonna do? But in reality, especially with the coordinated team, that could be really good and hard for the defensive team to deal with. If you have a drone that is stealthing around the map and is practically invisible, how is defense ever going to know that they've been spotted by the offensive team? Once again, this is going to require a bit of coordination on the part of the offensive team, or maybe not any coordination for the person who's using it, because you'll be able to get this into a room, figure out exactly where defense is hiding. Defense doesn't know that they've been spotted because of the drone. They charge on in really quickly and take you down with that knowledge. A lot of the times, the reason why drones aren't completely overpowered for the offensive team is, of course, because you can see them and you can hear them. You see that thing jumping around out in the distance, you're going to take it out as quickly as you can to deny them that knowledge. As soon as you take it out, you're going to move into a different part of the room to kind of switch it up so that the enemy doesn't know exactly where you are, and then hopefully win that next firefight. And so the reason why this drone could be incredibly powerful is that you just take away one of the ways you can identify where it is. I'm assuming you'll still be able to see its kind of silhouette. It will shimmer much like the Echo drone and the Legion traps, but as long as they're sneaky about it, this could be an incredibly powerful offensive operator. The final operator that might be coming this season is one that has the ability to make gadgets louder so you can pinpoint their location. Now, this could be offensive or defensive. We don't really know. I'm assuming it's an offense because defense, you're only really looking out for drones, but this could be the counter to that drone operator that we just talked about. But if I had to take a guess, it's going to be for offense. Now, some of you might be thinking, if you've been following along, wait a second, you just described 3 different offensive operators. There's going to be 2 new attacking operators and 1 defensive. Well, what gives? Well, that drone operator that we talked about, that special ability could be for these 2 different operators. We don't really know right now. Much like Ella, she has the ability when she's in the down but not out stage to whip out her pistol. This could kind of be a side upgrade or a side ability for these 2 new guys. And so if this is an offensive operator, I don't really know how it's all gonna play out. Like, it sounds like this is sort of like IQ, but either it's going to be terrible because who cares being able to hear them, or it's gonna make IQ just completely obsolete. It's kind of hard to say. Now, one thing I do like about this idea, though, is that it could be a great way at countering the current trap meta. There's so many traps in this game right now, it would be nice if there was another operator that could identify and take them down. And I know some people have said, why not just give Thatcher another EMP? But that just puts more of an emphasis on Thatcher. Thatcher is already practically a must pick, not only to get through walls, but also dispose of these traps, and so it'd be nice if there was just another option. This guy could finally bring that. You activate his ability, the gadgets around you start to make a loud beeping noise or make some sort of noise. You find the Legion trap directly in front of you because it made a sound, or that Ella mine, you can either take it down or avoid that situation and hit it from a different angle. That could be really interesting. And so once again, take all of this with a grain of salt. Some of these are showing some merit even though they are leaks. There has been some pictures that have also leaked that kind of verify these claims, so they might be true, but nothing's been officially revealed. That's gonna be happening on November 19th, and hopefully everything will be cleared up then. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about what we discussed in today's video. Are you excited about the new skyscraper map? Are you a little worried about the potential new operators? One thing I don't really like is that if they are true, they seem to keep going in the direction where they have to make everything invisible. We've got Echo's drone, we've got Legion traps, and now supposedly stealth drones, I don't know if I like that direction. And so, do you like these potential new operators? Are you kind of worried about them? Give me your thoughts down below in the comments. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.